Welcome back to Hoochos. Today on Hoochos, I'm going to show you how to set up this. This is a grow room. What is this?
This is an indoor veggie patch.
Utilizing the Hooch multi-bucket hydroponic system set up indoors, incorporating carbon filtered ventilation, cool tubes, HPS grow lights that I'm going to show you how to organize in this video. Okay, so today we are in an echoey, undisclosed location, setting up a grow room. The aim today is to convert this room, this spare space, into a productive grow room environment. So I just want to give you a tour of what I'm working with today. We have two PowerPoints, double PowerPoint at the door, another double PowerPoint over next to a heater. For the human light, we've just got a standard LED globe. I'm allowed to do anything to this room because it is an owner-occupied house. So we have options to ventilate through the roof, through the floor, or through the windows. We're gonna go for the windows to start with, but in the future, we may be going through the floor. Now, the floor is actually carpet, and it's a really old carpet as well. This is a problem as far as I'm concerned because it is able to harbor mold spores as well as spider mites and other vectors for infection, as well as just being a bit unclean in a grow room because you're gonna have cocoa or other grow media and water falling onto the floor. So first things first, we're gonna rip this carpet up. Okay, it's gonna get a bit echoey in here. Now that we've got a nice flat floor to work with, we can set up the system. All right, for this next section, I'm just marking out spaces along my piping for the pots to sit within. And I'm also gonna mark out a section at the end for the float valves. These plants are gonna be a spacing of 600 each with all the holes shuffled up to make space for the float valve, which will be up the end. So I've made a lot of these systems before. And one thing that I've come to the conclusion is you want your hole to be way bigger than the 50mm net cup that's going through it, so that when your roots get to size, you can still remove the plant without damaging them and shearing them off. So this is a 76mm hole saw, and it's gonna leave our pipe rigid and intact, but it's gonna give us a larger hole. So I'm just gonna go along, cut out all the holes and cut out the float valves as well with a multi-tool. Okay, so we're now gonna stick the ends on. Now I've got a new way of doing this. We're gonna be using a PVC cement primer and glue. This allows you to stick PETG to PVC, and it gives you a watertight seal almost immediately. Like the dry time on this is like next to nothing. Hold bonded joint in for at least 30 seconds. Do not disturb for 5 minutes, and you can pretty much work with it after that 5 minutes. Prime our pipes, and I'm going to prime our prints as well. Like this, rub glue around our pipe. I'm going to put a bit of glue around this too. We can just slide that on the end. That's good. How good? That's so easy compared to silicone. Not a plumber. And to keep them pressured out onto the edges, just use the bits you've cut off to spring them out. For this end, we're just putting some taps on the end of our 3D printable end caps. Throw our taps onto some pieces of hose. This is PVC garden hose. When we prime it, and we prime the insides of our end caps, we can put some PVC glue on the outside of our hose. We can slide it into our end like so, and that will just stick it in place. And the glue will seal it, and we can just clean it up. And that's given us a tap for the end. We'll just let them set, and then we can stick them to the ends of our pipes. So we've got some galvanized wire. It's actually plastic coated as well so that no water can get into it. And we're gonna string it through eyelets, which are just gonna screw onto these beams in the roof. And we'll also be using some of these so that we can tighten the wire. And wire rope grips so that we can tie the ends off on the wire. So 800 out, we'll meet it here, and then just one in the middle so that you can so that you're not messing with it here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so it could come in between here and in between here, but that won't bother it. How many do you want? Do you want 2 or 3? So now I'm just going to pre-drill out all the holes at 800, throw in some eyelets, and then we can run the wire for our ducting and our lights. It's hardwood. And I'm just using these wire grips to grip the end and attach the wire to the hooks. And at this end, we're gonna have a turnbuckle so that we can tighten the wire rope and pull it taut. And from this wire, we're gonna hang all of our lighting and our ducting. And these are the fixtures that we're going to be hanging today. These are 2 600 watt HPS globe grow lights. These are 600 watt Luca grows?
You can put whatever you want in. You have to take 1,000 if you wanted.
Okay, so the cool tubes can take pretty much, it's just dependent on the driver, the power supply. Transformer, yeah. So you can put any size HPS into this. This has got a 600 watt, but if you wanted to step up the bulb size, you can go to 1,000 watt if you have the right power supply and the right cooling. So these are cool tubes. The air sucks through the lights and is vented away from the grow room, which means that you just can achieve cooler temperatures in the heat of summer, or you can disconnect them in winter so that you can have more heat. Yeah.
They kind of work.
They really?
So you still need to do ducting out of your room. Otherwise, it's hot.
It's hot.
Yeah. But if you got a window open and you got passive flow, it's going to be pulling cold air into the room.
Yeah.
So it generally works.
It works better than not having it.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's just the ambient heat it's getting rid of, not the infrared heat. Right, okay.
You got that food scan in there?
We're drinking while we work, mate. These are the globes.
Those can fan out as much as you need.
Oh, okay, so these bend out?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. These are reflectors, so they reflect the light down onto the grow. So we'll hang these up out of the way, and then we're gonna set up our hydroponic system underneath them. That's so cool. Yeah.
So the hardest thing when you're doing that is to factor in your piping. So if you've got more length of piping, you can drop it more. Because when you're pulling it up and down,
Yeah.
it's a lot more piping.
So yeah, but yeah, okay.
And it's like the accordion.
You almost need like ratchet straps for the piping as well. You have 2 more, good. We're happy with the layout of our hanging solution, and we're gonna set up a hydroponic system that's gonna go under these lights. Hello. Oh my God. Where's your sister? Where is your sister? Oh, chickens, yeah.
Where else would you be?
Yeah. So we've got our 2 rain gutter grow systems that are gonna go underneath this light. And over in this corner, we're going to have this. This is the latest addition to the Hydroland store. It is a 200 litre reservoir, and we have them in multiple sizes. They're relatively cheap, and they're really good for, well, rental situations if you need to have a fold down res, or any situation where you need to get a large res through a door. So we have a 500 litre one, a 200 litre one. There's a few sizes. I'll put the sizes below, but essentially it comes with a tap and a quick connect fitting. These reservoirs have legs that support the outside. The whole thing tightens up once you fill it up. It has a quick connect fitting with a tap. It zips open at the top, and on the side we have another space for a float valve, so you can just connect up a quick connect and fill it without overflowing it. So we're gonna have that over in the corner, feeding our float valves on our rain gutter grow system. Now, you might be thinking, What are you going to do about the windows? Well, the windows are actually going to be completely blocked out so that no light can come in or out of this grow room. Okay, so this is just PVC garden hose, and I've got 2 float valves which go into the end of our rain gutter grow systems and to the end of our float valves, connecting up a quick connect to a 1/2 inch BSP. All of these fittings, pretty much everything you see in this video is available on the Hydroland website, and the 3D prints are available on my Patreon. All right, so I've just got a T-piece to go in here. All right. We're all connected up. These just quick connect apart and we just take it outside and try it. So I can test the res as well. So it all just disconnects like so. Vern, are you chasing the chickens? So I'm just gonna fill this up, make sure it doesn't leak outside. Then we can move it all inside and finish off our lighting. While we're waiting for that system to be leak tested, I'm gonna lay out the components of ducting system on the ground, and then we can set it all up, hung from the ceiling, ready to go. So the components include, this is a carbon filter. What kind of carbon filter? It's a can filter. This is going to be the intake for all of our vented air. Now, you only really need one of these if you're going to be growing things that give off an odor. Like the lavender that I know is going to be grown in this room. All of our air is going to be vented out through this piece of ply, which is going to be put into the window. And I have sleeves that I'll cut holes in this ply so that our vent passes through the ply nicely. So all of our ducting is 150 millimeter ducting, and it runs through from carbon filter, through our lights, through our inline fan. We're gonna cut the plywood to size, cut the 150 millimeter holes in the plywood, put it in our sliding windows, and it's just gonna exhaust out the window. Now, ideally, you would exhaust into a roof cavity, or most ideally, down underneath the house so that there's no heat being exhausted from the side of your house. And to connect all these up, I'm just going to be using these 150 millimeter hose clamps to attach our ducting. And our carbon filter is going to go up in this corner. So it comes with straps, and you just strap this over the top. And with these ducts, you always want to give yourself a little bit of extra room so that you can drop one light, raise one light, and it can still reach your carbon filter and all of the other accessories in the line. So just put in 2 more eyelets, and this is going to house the fan, like so. All right, so I've had these set up for a while and we have absolutely no leaks. So I am very happy with all of this actually, especially this new gluing method. It was really quick, it was way quicker than with silicone. Perfect. So while I'm waiting for the plywood to be cut, I'm just going to mount the power supplies, which are just these 600 watt power plant power supplies. They will power a 600 watt metal halide or HPS bulb. They're going to actually be mounted on this wall here, right above our power point, because if the system leaks, I don't want any electricity to be down on the ground. And here I have a hanging power board. This is going to allow the lights to be controlled by a single timer. And I'm just going to hang this up here, and it plugs into the wall through a basic mechanical timer, like so. And both power supplies will just plug into that power board, like so. Let's see if he's worth his salt. Does it fit? That's really good. You've done well. And I'm just gonna run all of our cords so that we've got all of our electricity neatly running along our wires and back down to our power source. The last piece. We could go lower. Like that.
Yeah, it can be like that.
Okay, so that is our full light and ventilation system set up. And now I'm just going to set up the hydroponic system and we can test it all out and see how it works. Ow! Oh. Oh. That's not good. That can go back there. Ooh. And here are the hooch buckets. So these just lay over the top of our system and they wick up from the net cup that is at the bottom of the bucket. They just sit directly over our pipes like so. And as you can see, this isn't exactly the tallest room in the world. So these hooch buckets, being such a low profile hydroponic system, gives you all of the headroom that you need to complete a full grow. It is really space efficient. It allows you to take full advantage of all of the space that you have available to you in whatever grow area that you're utilizing. Now there's another thing that we probably want to do with this grow room, and that is either paint the walls with a matte white so it reflects as much light as possible, or put up Panda film. We weren't able to get to the hydroponics store for Panda film today, which is just a white reflective material. But in the future, that is what will be on the walls. It'll just be stuck up with double-sided tape. It gives you a really nice surface to wipe, clean, and disinfect between grows. All right, that's it. It's all set up and ready to grow. Now, these buckets will have coco coir in them once they are ready to be planted out, but let's test out this ventilation system with the lights. I'm really excited to do this. All right, do you want to give it a go? Turn the big light off, the big light. Turn the fan on. The fan's working. Can you hear that? And the lights. Hey, they're really cool to start off with. They get that warm hue to them. Look at that. Yeah, there's the warmth. You can see the warmth coming through. Look at that. It goes like this. Wow. Don't look at the globes. Our inline fan pulls our air through our tubes, our cool tubes with our 600 watt HPS globes, and it pulls through both of them, which extracts through this carbon filter, filtering the air so that there are no volatile odors going out that window. And these two 600 watt HPS lights power our hydroponic system below. And have a look at that. That is a Hooch multi-bucket hydroponic system, which is gravity feeding from a reservoir in the corner, supplying whatever nutrients you put into that reservoir to all of our plants in a wicking, auto refill, passive manner. How good. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hoochos. Happy hydroponicking. I hope it's given you some inspiration, and I will see you next time on Hoochos.